Okay, we're over here on the east side of the house. It's a gable house. Our windows have been updated. Wood frame right there. Up by the ridge vent, we see that we've got a ridge vent, and that's an exhaust vent. You see the flashing right in there. It's not lapped quite like it should be, so it's kind of a weak spot for wind-driven rain. If my memory serves me correctly, this style of house in this neighborhood, okay, used to have gable vents. I might learn a little more about that when I do the attic video, which you would have seen already. Now the siding that's coming down, the butt ends, okay? I got 1, 2, 3. Can you focus on that? The butt ends of the siding should have flashing paper behind them, tape, and they don't. Our brick has been painted. Okay, so we've taken a low or no maintenance system. Low or no maintenance system. And now it's a maintenance system. I get painting brick to make the house look more attractive. I get painting brick so that crack repairs are not quite so obvious. But you know, you've taken a low or no maintenance system and turned it into a maintenance required system. Fences next to the house are conducive to wood destroying insects by design. We're not doing a termite report here today. All this debris next to the house, that's conducive. All these leaves and stuff, that's all conducive. Fences are beyond the scope of this inspection, but we're missing our fence cap here. Okay, let's just kind of go into that. Missing our fence cap on the chain link fence on the east side of the house. Water can get into here, settle down there, corrode the pipe. With this around the foundation, we've got what's known as a parge coat, P-A-R-G-E. It's kind of like a cake frosting. Just because the parge coat is cracked doesn't mean your foundation's cracked. It's decorative. Just because it's not cracked doesn't mean that your foundation is not cracked. It's decorative. It also creates a void between the foundation cement and the parge coat, and termites can take advantage of that and move up through there. And again, it's not a termite inspection, but I want to keep talking. Right here on the corner, some people call these corner pops. Corner pops. You know, but they're shrinkage cracks. If they're in the span of a hand, I don't know whose hand, and they go in this direction down to this corner, okay, the cement shrinks and expands at different rates than the brick. The brick expands and it shrinks and expands at different rates for different reasons. So, for example, the concrete takes 60-something years. The concrete is probably dried for the foundation. The brick, you'll never be able to measure this, but it's the only part of your house that actually grows. And then, over time, and then they both expand and contract. They react different to the humidity, the heat. So the stress always comes out in the corners, and that's normal. And sealing it is a good repair for termites. You know, to make it less susceptible to termites, sealing it, that's a good thing. Also, it's in there, but that corner by itself, I don't know. I haven't made up my opinion about the foundation yet. But that corner is not a sign of foundation problems. It might be brick problems, but not a foundation problem. We kind of move on along here. We see that we do not have rain gutters. We also see that we do not have a chimney cap. The chimney caps are now required. When this home was built, not so much so. Now we're going along the north side of the house. Got some stair step cracks that have been repaired underneath the bathroom's windows. Coming along here, you see these sticks coming up. That looks like a trip safety hazard, doesn't it? You know what that is? That is the main water shutoff valves to the house. If you have an emergency, go out to the meter and turn the water off. Unless I find a valve in the front yard. Do not use these valves. If you use these valves, what's going to happen is you're going to end up going out to the meter to turn the water off to the house anyway. And then after you fix whatever the problem was inside, you're going to come out here and you're going to dig up this yard and you're going to replace those valves. Those valves have been here for 60 years. They're not to be trusted. They're not to be trusted. Moving on along. Right here on both sides of the fireplace chimney, okay, that step flashing should be curled in and sealed so that wind-driven rain can't get in there. Do you think wind-driven rain can get in there? I do. And then, at the roof edge right here, you should have kick-out flashing so the water doesn't just run down here, causing you to have to paint your chimney. You should kick the water out like this. We've got negative drainage right here on this step. This step's moved. We've got some movement, some heaving right there. So, and then the steps are no longer dimensionally uniform, so they can cause a trip hazard. The exterior light fixtures, they should be sealed where they're attached to the structure so that water doesn't get back into your brick system. Moving on along, excuse me for a moment, strike the lintel statement, but keep the car entry casement statement. The car vertical trim board casement around garage car entries should be a couple inches off the ground. If it's that close, then there's nothing to keep water from wicking up off of the driveway into it and causing it to corrode prematurely. This is an exterior wall. The garage is considered the exterior. And, all this needs to be resealed. Okay? All this drywall over the electric service panel should be resealed. Then the floor has been floated out and leveled with a parch coat, kind of like what's around the foundation. But if you look, and you can't. We got cracks. We got cracks that are visible, telegraphing through the parch coat. And that's not a big surprise. Not a big surprise in this neighborhood. Not a big surprise considering the age of the house. But it's there, and that's what's happened. We've had crack repairs on the driveway, buying a little more time. The garage will probably buy you more time than the driveway, but it's some time, it's just... We're moving along. This is the west side of the garage. Coming along, gable in, closed still. We got some vertical cracks through the brick and mortar right here. Nice big movement. We don't have control joints, expansion joints, like in the streets. You expect brick to move. If there had been a control joint right there, it might not have cracked. And again, on our siding, this is a better example, but look at the butt end there. And I'm not seeing any flashing tape behind that. Moving along, now we're going from west to east, coming along to the front of the house. We've got negative drainage right in here. You can see where the yard's higher here, and the water makes its way down to the foundation. Makes its way down to the foundation. You probably want to put a drain in here or something to handle that. Moving on along, we got another gable end. Oh, just a little step end. Okay. I'm not seeing any soffit vents either. Okay, I'm seeing ridge vents. Ridge vents are exhaust vents. I'm not seeing any air intake into the attic. The attic is not properly ventilated. Wood mulch next to the house under the drip line. Where do termites live? In the ground. What do they eat? Dead wood. What's wood mulch? Dead wood on the ground next to the house. I get it, it's pretty, everybody likes it. They say, oh, this is cedar, oh, this was treated, oh, this doesn't, oh, whatever, you know, but this is conducive to wood-destroying insects, regardless of what people might say. Now, a tree shouldn't be closer to the house than 25 feet. I couldn't talk my wife out of moving that tree. That tree's big, it's beautiful, it adds interest to the property. But they're constantly, I'm talking about water coming down here, and I'm saying, well, the trees are sucking the water out. They're drawing water out from beneath the foundation. The trees' roots also grow. There's a rule of thumb, and it really doesn't apply to this skinny guy here, but however long the branches go out is how long the roots go out. Or in these cases, it might be however long the branches went out. There's like a mirror image underneath the ground, and that's the roots go where the branches go, and vice versa. So, moving on along. Excellent. This is called an expansion joint, and they've put a tar board in there because termites don't like that. That's good. Coming on along, we're looking. I'm seeing ants around, but I'm not seeing carpenter ants. I haven't seen carpenter ants. So, more painted wood. There's our faucet. We got another. This is more of those shut-off valves that I'm talking about. So yeah. Coming on along, wood mulch. Bushes touching the house. It's conducive to wood-destroying insects. Okay. In this case, less about termites and more about carpenter ants, but still it's a conducive condition.